Hi, Jason. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much for joining today, this afternoon on Live with Jennifer Bailey. Even though we have our storm here in Florida, we're hanging in there. I know we're having some internet ins and outs. So, everybody, if you could bear with us with the internet. Hopefully we can make it through with a good live stream for you today. I'd like to welcome Jason Patzer. He's the owner and he's also an inspector for First and Goal Home Inspections. We've done some work together, and I wanted to have him stop on by with this live with Jennifer Bailey to answer some of your questions for you. We had a lot of really great questions that were submitted. And I think Jason's going to do a great job answering some of those questions for us. So again, thanks
I will
everybody
definitely
for
do my best.
awesome. Thanks, Jason. So I'm going to just jump straight in, and we'll go through this list of questions and see what you say about them. All right. So the very first question that we got was, what does the inspection detail?
So, different types of inspections, but your basic home inspection should cover all the important points of the home. Uh, should should be comprised of a roof inspection, a structure inspection, your HVAC system, um, electrical. Definitely is every door, window. So a full home inspection is exactly what it should be. It should be a full visual, light mechanical inspection of all aspects of the home. And the reason why I say light mechanical is because there are some take apart. So, but for the most part, we can test any of the systems that where you're at, life expectancy, so on and so forth.
Cool. Great. Okay, thank you. And here's another question. Since a brand new home has all new things, do I still need a home inspection on a new construction?
Most definitely, most definitely. I get this question a lot. People will call me up and like, listen, or I've had realtors ask their buyers, listen, you're getting a new brand new home. You might want to get it inspected. Now, home builders give a 1 year warranty
Mhm.
with their home. My thing is, it is only as good as the subcontractors that are put out there to put it together. And people make mistakes. I guarantee you that your house, some part of your home was built on a Monday and built on a the things happen. And it's nice to catch it right out the gate before you get moved, especially if it's something that is going to require drywall to be removed or other altercations that require touch up painting afterwards. If you don't get your home inspected right out the gate for a brand new home, I highly, highly recommend that you around your 10th to 11th month.
Yeah.
Get it looked at while you're still that your warranty, so we can catch the items that the builder may need to fix.
That's a great tip. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. So right before the warranty goes out, have a home inspection done. All right. That's a really good tip. I like that. Next one is, are there multiple types of inspections on a home? What kind of home inspections? If so, if I'm looking to buy a home, like brand new or resale, what kind of different ones?
Okay, so there's multiple types of inspections. Of course, your inspection is that of the shell and the operations of the home itself. Some of the other inspections include your pool, or we have a lot of docks and seawalls here in Florida. Those are very a repair to a seawall or a dock can be very, very costly, and so it's very important to have. Um, Other inspections would be inspections you'd require for your insurance. For instance, is typically used for homes that are older than 40 years. Now, a lot of a lot of people think that a four take place or would cover things just like a major home inspection. It doesn't. The purpose of a 4-point inspection is to let the insurance company know the condition of the 4 points of the home, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, and roof, has
Okay.
nothing to do with structure at all. And it lets how much life is left in them. Now, it's a brief sampling of those items. It's not a inspection of them like you would get in a full home inspection.
Okay.
However, and then you have a windmill, which is what gets you your discount on your insurance. Those are very important here in Florida because hurricane state today, case in point,
Mm-hmm.
it's a tropical storm, but still there's wind. Is gets you your discounts based on what protections you have against wind. All right, and that's basically patched, impact rated windows, so on and so forth. There's a lot more that goes into it, but so like just to reiterate, 4 point is to gain insurance, wind mitigation is to discount insurance.
Okay.
And now you would not need a 4 point, like I said, if the home is newer than 30 years in most cases. In most cases.
Okay.
Different. And then of course you have like your septic inspections, and then your what we call a WDO inspection, wood destroying organism inspection, and so a lot of those which are you'd probably be able to answer that better than I would. I guess it's required by some lenders for
Mhm.
those types of inspections. So it's always good when you call a home inspector to ask them when you're trying to. It's because I get this all the time when people call me. Uh, if you call up and ask somebody, well, how much is a home inspection? Put you a price right out the gate without asking you questions. Warning. And the reason why I say that is because you don't need for that house.
Mhm.
So definitely want to make sure that you're getting and you have that conversation with your or hiring them that you're getting the proper inspections so you're not having to go back at the last witching hour and trying to get the
Right. Okay. Well, good. That's good. Um, the next one, and actually, you kind of covered this a little bit, but do you check for termites during your inspections?
now we always look as a home inspector I always look for signs of destroying organisms. Now we do ask a local company. We subcontract out to a local pest control company to come out and perform the WDO. We try to schedule it so they're out, so it's even more eyes on your house. It's because it's very important. I almost one of this natural state animals at this point. So it's definitely that extra person out there. Um, so we can definitely set that up for you.
Cool. All right. Are there different items that are going to be looked at depending on the type of financing someone's getting, like a FBA, FHA, conventional?
From our aspect, no. And the reason why I say that is we approach else as if it's needs to be everything needs to be looked at. All
Okay.
right, so curtail our inspections one way or another. Um, I've heard some people say, "Well, we don't sweat the small stuff." Small stuff. I mean, what's small to me, it may not be small to someone else.
Hmm.
For me, changing out a G, I can do it in my sleep. However, your normal homeowner it doesn't want to do anything with electric. So it's when it comes to like as far as lending, that's more what types of inspections. I know like a VA loan requires a WDO
Hmm.
inspection. A conventional loan, so it's to your comfortability.
Okay. Um, how about this? How much do inspections cost?
Well, we just touched on that before. It's
Yeah.
really hard inspection unless you know about the house.
Yeah.
So if I was to take just bare bones coming from my personal company here, First and Goal, for a house that's under 2, just basic home inspection without anything else to it is $300.
Okay.
All right, and once you have other things put on there, typical you're going to looking to spend anywhere between $400 on an inspection.
Okay. It
Full
was
house here in Florida.
four
What's that?
hundred 400 to how much? Okay. Great.
Is what I would tell you to be looking for
Okay.
all your inspections. Now, of course, bigger houses take more time, more
Mhm.
inspectors. Uh, but yeah, and so definitely ask questions when you inspector.
All right. Can you find all the problems of the home?
Unfortunately, no, and I'm being very honest when I say that. A number, we can't see what's going on inside the walls.
Okay.
I don't have X-ray vision. Now we have tools that can help us. Guesstimate what's happening or alert us of problems that may be happening. Further investigation may be needed. However, are we going to catch every single thing? I tell people, uh, people will say, well, this house was just inspected. Uh, you can have the same house and inspect it, and you'll get almost the same time, but there will be one or two things that may be different. I have my pet peeves. Those always looking for. They're going to be on there. Uh, so it's uh, do yes, we do. The whole basis of a home inspection is to make sure that you are making the most one of the most expensive purchases you'll ever make in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Sure.
My job to make sure that you are making an informed decision when purchasing that home.
Great. I appreciate that. And I know a lot of other new homeowners will also appreciate that. How would you determine if there is a problem with the pool pump or if there's a leak in a home swimming pool?
Well, that is a tough one. So the first thing that we look at is we operate all the pool systems. Now,
Mhm.
any inspector or go and inspect pool systems? No. Make sure the inspector has gone through the proper course, inspect these pool systems. That's why I love our organization. I'm going to give a little shout out to Fabi inspectors. They are absolutely wonderful. They make sure that we are on top of our game constantly. These guys are information, which is wonderful. Anyway, quick shout out to them. Anyway, and I say that because they offer a really uh, a pool inspection course.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, it teaches you how to operate the pool properly. You always look for leaks. You look for signs of leaks, suction leaks, as well as blowout. How to operate all the different style and pool heaters, so on and so forth. You've got gas heaters. You've got you got electric heaters. So you need to know how. Um, That being said, as far as pool leaks in the system,
Mm-hmm.
we learn how to check, visual getting out there and looking around the pool, seeing if there's any signs of cracking. There's if you see a water hose that's leading to a pool, warning. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just it's now we have evaporation, things happen, but it's the reason why you're having a home inspection. If we're alerted that there's an impossible issue or we feel like there's a possible issue with
Mm-hmm.
beyond hey, let's get a pool company out to it and leak test it. All right.
Okay.
So out of our systems.
Great. So, if you find something, then you would recommend that we get a pool specialist in there to take a look at specific issues.
Correct.
Awesome.
And that's issues. Pool pump leaks are pretty easier to find. They're
Mhm.
while they're running, they're dripping, so forth, or loud bearing noises that they're about to go,
Mhm.
uh, so on and so forth. So you can start budgeting for repair.
Mhm. How can inspection results affect my home's offer?
Well, again, this may be a question a little bit better suited for you.
Oh.
But so the way it can affect it is you may find issues that you didn't know were
Mhm.
happening. The homeowner issues that they didn't know were happening.
Right.
Let's be honest. I mean, out there that are watching this, how often how often do you go in some of the rooms that you go into the house? Um, so
Oh, we're losing you just a bit.
that just dropped again. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you now. Yep, it dropped for a second.
Okay, can you hear me good? Okay now.
Yeah.
Okay. So is if you see or if there's an issue at your house, whether it be big, it's not the end of the world.
Mhm.
I've yet to run across a problem that couldn't be fixed.
Mhm.
That's where the discussion starts. After our inspection is where the discussion starts.
Mhm.
What and that's up to you to do the advocating for your clients.
Yeah.
And and we will back up our findings. So um and
Good.
then of course that it
Well,
can affect it is um one thing we talk about, one of the inspections I did talk about earlier, the pre-listing inspections.
mhm.
Okay, this can be huge for people, and I'm very surprised that a lot of sellers don't do it. When you go to buy your home or go to sell your home, what you want to do is at a price, and then have someone come in and tell you there's something wrong with your house,
Mhm.
and then you're fighting out and you're losing money because they're going to determine the buyer's going to determine what the this is going to be, not
Yeah.
you. And that
Right.
may be something that you can have done at a cheaper price than what ask for discount. Pre-listing inspections are so important. I, for one, I am putting my house up on the market.
Mhm.
I'm talking to people from a hotel room right now,
Mhm.
is because I did my own pre-listing home inspection where I found a water leak in the wall,
Mhm.
and it had been affecting both bathrooms located in my kid's bathroom, which I never go in my kid's bathroom unless it's pointing out something that they need to pick up out of my kid's bathroom.
Right.
So while doing the inspection, I was able to locate that there was a problem in the walls. We got to be a lot bigger issue than we thought. I was able to file an insurance claim and getting two brand new bathrooms less than what a buyer would have asked me to take off
Right. Mhm.
because
So,
I'm using my. Now I'm in a hotel till they get it fixed.
yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, no, that's a great tip. So if you're listing or thinking about listing your property, to call you whoever their home inspector is, to get a pre-list home inspection done so that they can discover those issues and maybe resolve them ahead of time or make decisions about what they're going to do with it before they get their offers and get marketing. That's a great idea. Great. What parts of my future home should I be most concerned about? Like, is it roof, mold, plumbing? What should I be most worried about?
That's a tough one because I hold each aspect in very high regard because each aspect can cause problems in any direction. Uh, so that's a real tough question. Of course, everybody is always worried about the roof here in Florida.
Hmm.
High winds, it's all about the roofs here in Florida. So yes, the roofing is very important. A lot of roofs are being replaced now that were replaced back in '04, '05 after Genie came through. Um, so a lot of those roofs are coming to the end of their life now and being replaced now. And it now because of all those roofs that were done in '04 and '05 and them being up there, it's hard to find a roof right recently that doesn't have a leak.
Yeah.
It's really tough, and that can hurt a lot of deals, especially FHA loans. They're very tough on that type of thing. So an issue here in Florida. We especially when you're dealing with older homes, uh, cast iron plumbing,
Mm.
big issue now.
Yeah.
Um, Polybutylene piping, we don't see that too often, but we do run it and such like that. So, and then there's along hand in hand with plumbing is conducive for mold and microbial growth.
Hmm.
So I front of the other, I believe that they're all very, very important. Um, I think probably if I had to put one at would be your appliances. They're the easiest thing to place.
Right. Okay.
So,
All right. Next question is, what is the most common problem you find during a home inspection?
the most common is DIY work, and then
Mm.
do-it-yourselfer work is the most we run into. It's not that what they did doesn't work. It's not that they whatever you did doesn't function. It correctly, and then that's where the problems come in. Um, so it's the do-it-yourself attic when you added some light bulbs or you added some can lights or somewhere
Mhm.
where line junctions should be in junction boxes.
Mhm.
Um, One of the most common problems here in Florida is in windows. You wouldn't
Mhm.
think that would be a big issue, but it is because here in Florida, under usage worse than over usage when it comes to windows.
Mhm.
We we have our AC on 90% of the year. It's too stinking hot out there.
Yes, it
So
is.
and then you go to operate a window that has for years and balance springs break and pop and they've been rusting and they're just corrosion. I mean, yeah, that's a big big common problem is especially on newer homes and stuff like that. Your windows at least once a month. Walk
Oh,
through, open up every window, and put it back down. It won't take you long. A
huh.
lot of money in the end.
Wow. So you're suggesting that we just go around once a month, open them up, put them back down, give them a
Exercise them.
little workout.
Little
Okay.
workout. You know what happens when we don't move? Yep,
That's right. Yeah.
it should extend the life though.
Oh, okay, that's a good tip. I haven't heard that one before, but I've seen that a lot too, from home inspections that come back. Is that those the rods and stuff? They're just sun rotted from never being used and always there. So okay, that's a good tip. I'll start opening my windows quickly. Open, shut, quickly.
That you got it.
Yeah, a little exercise for the windows. Next one, does an inspection that you issue, does it just pass or fail? Do you give us a pass or fail on inspections?
Not necessarily. Now, of course, when something doesn't work, it's
Mhm.
failed. I
Right.
mean, failed. But there's, and if it's not leaking, I guess that's a pass.
Mhm.
Uh, but try not to make mountains out of molehills. I mean, there are some aspects we try to let people know when things failure. Um, you got to remember that an inspection is a snapshot in time.
Mhm.
It's not something we're not fortune tellers. We can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. But I can tell you what's happening to your house right at this moment.
Mhm.
And but we try to. This is starting to show some really big signs of rusting, or monitor it. Shut off valves are really starting to get corroded. Um, Water heater's not heating, means one of your elements are probably getting ready to go out. And the last thing you want to do is spend all this money finally closing on your dream and then have something go wrong.
Right.
You know, some of these like air conditioner units, their life expectancy, they may be cooling perfectly fine while I'm standing right there in front. It's like taking your car to a mechanic.
Yeah.
It's fine when it's at the mechanic,
Mhm.
but it's but as soon as walk away, they're unpredictable.
I think we lost you again for a second. So we're gonna hang in there for Jason for just a couple more minutes. I know we've been having some internet issues a little bit. He's, I'm sure, trying to get it going back again. We've got the storm passing through, and like he said before, he's at a hotel from his. Um, he's selling his property, so they're fixing some stuff. So anyway, we'll get him back on here. Hang in here for just a moment. Alrighty. Well, we'll get Jason back at another time. Just a few other questions that we had for him. We will what we'll do is we'll submit those to him. He can answer them on our comments. And then if you guys have any other questions that you'd like to submit for him or any of the other people that I've had on Jennifer Live with Jennifer Bailey, we'd be happy to answer those for you. Thanks again to Jason Patzer for joining us from First and Goal Home Inspections. Really appreciate that the time that you gave to answer all of those questions. I will be putting all of his contact information in the comments below. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them here. I'll be monitoring this for a little while. So we'll get him back in there. Oh, I think we got him. All right, so we'll get him to answer a couple extra questions. 1 second. Welcome back, Jason.
I, that hotel life,
Right, right. Our virtual world we've got. All right. Well, we're almost to the end here, so just a couple more questions. I was just gonna leave those questions for you if we didn't get you back on, but now that we got you back, do all homes have to be up to code no matter what the age of the home?
That's an interesting question, and it's a very part question to answer that. So there is that whole term grandfathered in. So it is possible, and it is very likely, if a home is built to a certain code standard when it was built,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way in the world that it's going to be built at a different up to a different code as codes change. More, and then we figure stuff out more, and codes change. However, um, so you can't, for instance, a GFCI in a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we all see GFCI nowadays, but it wasn't until if I remember correctly, late '70s, early '80s that it wasn't required, not was to have GFCIs in the kitchen. Now, we always recommend that you bring it up to code and so on and so forth, but it's not required. And on an inspection report, I'll put that on there. Listen, these are grandfathered into an older code. We do recommend that you update them to proper code, and this is what the code. But I'm not a code inspector. Like
Okay.
I'm not. I'm not a code inspector in the. I don't go in there and measure all code aspects. Now, if there's something blatantly, now I read a lot of code,
Hmm.
a lot of uh, large manuals to keep up on changes that are
Oh yeah.
happening. Um, there are rules to that grandfathered uh, situation, and those rules, you know, if you're updating or moving items, like for instance, a an outlet doesn't have to be moved more than 6 inches from its original spot,
Hmm.
um, so on and so forth. So that being up to code changes and what needs to be done is very important. A lot of people don't know this, but especially here in Indian River County, it's required to pull a permit to have a water heater changed out. Um, Code changed for thermal expansion or pressure relief valves to be added on to the housing system,
Hmm.
not just the water heaters. And those are newer builds and units that were put in after 2015, um, depending on new or old construction. Um, we try to we try to inspect to today. We let you know that hey, you're buying a 1960s home. They did things a lot differently, not necessarily bad. Because I'll tell you what, some of the things that they did back in the '60s, such overkill
Hmm.
that it may not be the same code, but it's no way in the world that so on and so forth. So uh,
But you'll let
hopefully
us
that answers
know.
your question.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. I think it does. Yeah. So depending on what the code is, you alert us if we should be paying attention to it, or if it's just something that came with the house and when it was built in the '60s.
Case in point is uh, a lot of condos for their water heaters. The temperature pressure relief valve is supposed to stay 3/4. Right? I know I'm getting a little technical on you right now,
Hmm.
but they back when these condos were plumbed with 1/4 inch relief lines through the concrete of these condos.
Hmm.
Well, there's nowhere line put through these walls of the condos. So even though you're changing out the water heater and when the water heater was changed, it can't be done. So it's going to stay the way. Now, and that being said, if you have one of those condos, uh, there's nothing to worry. It's it will be fine.
Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Gives us some comfort. And the last question we had was, does the seller have to fix everything you find wrong on the inspection report?
Well, no, my inspection reports for the home buyer or the home seller. It's to what and what your comfortability is. I've done home inspections on homes that I'm looking at it going, oh my gosh. Now this is my own personal inside voice
Yeah.
going, these poor people need, and they're
Good.
that they love to fix up homes, and nothing phased them,
Okay.
and so it's they were if it's priced right and if it's what you're getting, it's all about the dialogue between the buyer and the seller, and so on and so forth. So I mean, it's just you don't have to fix everything. Somebody, you know, at some point in time, it does have to be fixed
Yeah.
or the seller.
So what you're giving to us is kind of an informational piece, and we can make our decisions about that. And they can consult their realtor, and come up with a negotiation if it's necessary, or if it's just things that aren't earth shattering, we may just move along with it. So it's not like a checklist. Is I've seen that
Right.
before where they're like, oh, they said that there's 35 things wrong with the house, so you have to fix them all. And that may not be the case.
And that's uh, it's with my system that we use. You're able to create what's called a repair request list. You
Hmm.
create a list, and you can make. It doesn't give you prices of what things are to fix, but it's prices of things and get an estimate of what it's going to cost. Negotiate it out that way. Um, if it's a big issue, if it's a
Hmm.
big issue, then of course whether you, that whether my house or whether somebody else buys the house, it's going to have to be addressed. For
Right.
instance, if you have a roof leak, it one way or another,
Yeah.
whether you do it or that somebody coming in does it.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, that was all of our questions that we received. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
this was so much fun.
totally lots of fun. Um, did you have anything, any closing comments or anything you'd like to add?
Um, I'd love to send out there to all my realtor friends. Thank you guys so much for when you refer me and have me out there. I'm all about open information to your clients, and it's a serious thing, but I do like to bring a little bit of humor with me sometimes. I do like to talk to my clients. You're fully informed. Um, if you're a seller, uh, keep in mind that a home inspector it's very uncomfortable to have somebody go through your home, but the easier you make it for us, leave pathways or leave ways that we can get to electrical boxes and the components of the homes to take a look at it. It's a lot easier too.
Yeah.
Um, and nobody, just be kind to. This is an unprecedented time. We're doing a lot of different things. I know my inspectors and myself. We have shields. We have all different PPE. We scrub down our or spray down our equipment after every inspection. It's just a different time, and tensions can get crazy out there. And just
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. Well, be safe. I, I'm really happy that this hurricane, although blowing through right now, hasn't caused too many problems. It looks like it's more of a tropical storm, thank goodness. Might be affecting our internet just a little, but I do appreciate so much that you've joined us. Jason Patzer, you've seen his name and information scroll along the bottom. He's with First and Goal Home Inspections. Phone number 772-501-1738, if I type that right. I will also add his contact information into the comments here so that you all can reach out to Jason with your questions. And if you have future ones, leave them in the comments. And I'll reach out to Jason. He'll be watching the comments as well and answering what he can for you as well. So thanks again, Jason, so much. It was great to see you, and I appreciate you coming up.
sure, this is fun.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Will do. You take
Thanks.